Am I audible?
Sir, we are starting. Can you please stop sharing so we can
Yeah.
share? Yeah.
Let's stop sharing.
Yeah, you can stop sharing so we can share our slide. Once we
Okay.
introduce you, then we can start. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. A great teacher does not just teach lesson, they ignite curiosity, inspire confidence and leave a lasting impact. With this thought, I, Ms. Smita Kinto, warmly welcome you all to day 6 of our virtual International Faculty Development Program series. For today's session, we are privileged to have with us an eminent academician and an inspiring educator, Professor Dr. Dastagir Sultan Sharif sir, who will be taking us through the topic Reigniting Passion for Teaching, Becoming an Inspiring Education. This topic beautifully brings together the essence of our entire program because teaching is not only about delivering knowledge, it is about creating curiosity, building connection, and inspiring learners to become their best selves. It is my pleasure to welcome Professor Dr. Dastagir Sultan Sharif sir to this session. Sir is a medical biochemist, researcher, academic leader, and medical educator in an international renowned medical biochemist, researcher, and academician. With over 50 years of excellence in medical education, research, and academic leadership. He is a former professor, head of department, dean, and vice principal at leading medical institution in India as well as abroad. Sir is the author of 250 plus research publications and 7 academic books monographs. His research has been published in reputed international journals, including The Lancet and other leading medical journals. He is internationally recognized for contributions to medical biochemistry, clinical research, bioethics, and medical education. Sir is an active contributor to UNESCO initiative and a resource person for medical ethics, bioethics, and continuing medical education. Sir is currently serving as Professor of Biochemistry in Anna Medical College, Mauritius. Sir, we are truly honored to have with us for the today's session. So, without taking much of your time, let's begin the session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, you can unmute. Sir, you are not. Please unmute, sir.
I must thank the Canadian Institute of Medical Sciences and the Allied Sciences for giving me this opportunity to share my experience with all of you. Particularly, I'm very thankful to Dr. Chris Thomas, who somehow felt I can be a good person who can talk about teaching and educator. Thank you very much to all of you. And I hope I'm very clear to you.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Today's theme is supposed to be reigniting passion for teaching, becoming an inspiring educator. So he has given the objectives itself, enhanced teaching enthusiasm and professional satisfaction. Well, just to begin with, a teacher, what's the difference between a teacher and an educator? You have to think whether you are a teacher or an educator. The teacher focuses on the lessons to be delivered along with the content. He explains concepts, checks for understanding. The role works mainly in the
Sir,
inside the classroom.
can you please be a little louder? We're not able to hear you properly.
Now you are able to hear me, madam? Hello? Yes,
Better.
I am
Better,
not.
but sir, no, sir, still not clear.
Oh. Now is it clear, madam? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, sir.
So an educator develops minds, values, and character. Am I audible now? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Sir, actually.
You can talk to me openly. Is it audible or not?
Yes,
No,
yes.
sir, I'm not able to comprehend anything. Sorry.
Ma'am, now it is audible. Maybe you may check your system, sir.
I can hear you properly, but you cannot hear me. The introductory session was also proper. I don't know. Okay, let us.
Hello, Chris Thomas. Dr. Chris Thomas, is it audible?
Yes, sir, you please continue, sir.
Okay. Then educator inspires curiosity and love of learning, sees every interaction as a chance to guide and mentor, prepares students for life and impacts their lives. This is the importance between a teacher and a focus. So I thought I will ask you whether you are a teacher or an educator based upon this broad guidelines. So now the next question was why teachers lose motivation? See, before I go further, you need to have a passion for teaching. What do you mean by passion? An unrestrained, overwhelming passion for teaching. That is, for example, you take my example. I eagerly wait to go attend the classroom because for me, the classroom is a platform where I can influence many students. See, I had lots of opportunity to do more research, but I preferred teaching. Why? Because I thought teaching gave me an opportunity to influence students. And I think I have taught about 30 to 40 batches of MBBS students and other allied sciences. And still, they have paid, I have definitely affected their lives. For example, this is the first batch of students. Dr. Madhuri Patnaik is one of the students here. So they are going to have alumni meet, and she has given this message: your guidance, dedication, and unwavering support have shaped countless students over the years, including us. She was the first batch of Vinayaga Medical College when I started that as a vice principal of the college. The most important thing is that the teacher takes a hand, opens the mind, and touches the heart. What is the purpose? You have to have a passion, you must have teaching, and it must affect the mind and the soul of your students. So the classroom is not just a room, it is where memories and futures are built. You can see here a classroom where the teacher comes very close to the students, in the close interaction. There is interactive so that he could understand. He is not dominating or he is not didactic, but he is interactive with the students. So naturally, teaching has to, if you want to do this, it has to be a very interactive atmosphere where you have to have this. So I saw this in your website. I was very much impressed by these tools that are trying to help your teaching techniques. That is, you are using augmented reality and virtual reality technology to train your own students. And actually, so that means you are very up to date in your technical side. This is when passion leads the lecture, learning becomes an unforgettable journey rather than a destination. I will go about it one by one. For example, whenever you want to deliver a lecture to a student and when you want to make it a very interesting one, the tone needs to be very adjustable and has to be modulating depending upon the audience. And your expression has to be simple and very clear. And above all, you need to generate energy. For example, if I go into a classroom, I derive my energy from the students. See, I develop a rapport with the students. That rapport with the students, once it is established, the whole atmosphere is very energetic. And also, you must not create fear in the minds of the students. You have to give a very open space for them so that they can share and clear their doubts or they can share their knowledge with us because it's a two-way. See, learning and teaching is a two-way process. So there are lots of artificial methods you have for presentation, which I don't want to go. And also there needs to be a peer collaboration with each other that is in the classroom so that you can give them some chances to present their views on different topics, whichever they like to share with you. And then you can be a facilitator, like a problem-based learning or case-oriented approach, that a flipped class. Then the most important thing is the place where you teach, the institutional support is very, very important. That is providing all the materials, this IT department, the technical staff, and all the other people are very essential to make teaching a very passionate one. Now the question is why teachers lose motivation? Maybe it's a general thing, but for me, I don't lose motivation because I love teaching and I feel that teaching is an inborn quality like music, like dance, and it keeps you live. And one of the reasons why this is, I think, from the WHO, teacher salaries have fallen compared to other occupations with similar educational requirements and the teacher to students ratio is increasing and the working atmosphere and the classrooms and other things are not very congenial for teaching. They are not motivated properly. So the challenges a teacher always faces is lack of financial resources. Cultural and societal perception means in the society, a teacher is considered as the last resort for their profession. So though we say Mata, Pita, Guru, Deva, but unfortunately that place still has lots of changes. Hello? And also you have to have in teaching and learning environment must be very encouraging. Then the career flexibility is very, very limited. For example, if I am teaching in the medical biochemistry, I cannot go and teach in a science faculty. Why? Because they will come and challenge with you. You have done your biochemistry in medical faculty of medicine. We have done our biochemistry in faculty of science. So you cannot cross over here. And this gender equality is slowly it is coming up, and nowadays it seems to be the narrowing of this inequality is taking place. So naturally, if you want to motivate the students, you have to establish basic conditions for teachers. When India had requested a team of experts from USA to establish more IITs in India, the first thing they asked was, buildings are not very important. The most important thing is you have to create a teaching staff who can be up to the standard to teach the students who are joining IIT. So naturally, you have to proper training must be there. The teachers has to be trained well in the modern day systems, artificial methods of artificial intelligence, machine learning. Then you have to give them that how they can branch out to different professions. And teachers must be accountable, and there has to be proper feedback structures in every institutions to give feedback anonymously about the teaching of different people. And there has to be a teamwork. There has to be a collaboration, vertical and horizontal collaboration must be there with different departments, so that they can sit together and then devise methods and ways to that is suitable for your place. And while taking a policy decision at the institutional level, teacher must give their inputs because they have to give their positive inputs so that the policy for educational policy for that particular institution is complete. I don't want to see some of these people like Florence Nightingale. She was one person who trained the Indian nurses with a knowledge of sanitation. Then she took them to Crimean War, where she made her breakthrough. So the mortality rate was very much reduced, though she was not knowing about the antibiotics and other notes. Her notes on nursing. For example, anything that you experience inside a particular ward or a particular patient, if you have the habit of taking notes of certain salient points you learn, that will be very, very good for you to improve your mind. And this is another person who brought mental health. Mental health has become the most important aspects of present day life. Yesterday, we saw that how the burnout syndrome is trying to drain the energy of many of these things. So you have to recharge your battery. That's what the speaker was telling. So, but this person had this started in very much earlier. Another important thing is that keeping the records of the patients. This person was responsible for keeping the medical records of many different patients, not only in Boston, New York, and other places also. So the medical record keeping is one big area one has to think. And these are all some of the people, physiotherapists you are doing lots of service to the present day cricketers like Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, and others. So you have this sports, orthopedic, neurological, physiotherapist. So this Mary Breckenridge, she was serving in Appalachian mountains where there were no motorable roads. So she used to go along with her sisters on horseback. And that she tried to do this. The lives of mothers and children in a so-called backward country area can be saved by those who knew and are willing to lead is nowhere better demonstrated than by the work of the nurses or the frontier nursing service. Particularly nursing profession and allied health sciences play a very, very important role in the patient welfare. See, the empathy, the care, and the understanding they show towards that only makes a patient very to come to life and to see a positive side of their therapy. See, my journey started, my life was due to the love, respect, and recognition given by my students all over the world in word, in deed, and in action. I spoke the language of biochemistry with my students, like the umbilical cord of a mother with a child. These are all some of the things I have done. See, I got my post-graduation in Madras Medical College in 1971. So that time itself, I was involved in making one big change in the. They wanted a medical degree somehow for this PhD, MSc biochemistry. So with the help of legislator, I was responsible for introducing condensed MBBS course to non-clinical course because postgraduates, which is now kept in abeyance. So you can see here, I was the Dr. Sultan Sharif, I was the postgraduate representative in Madras Medical College. Then before that, I had a big clinical diagnostic center. This is very, very important. Why? Because for the teaching of any basic medical sciences to any, for example, analytical biochemistry, clinical biochemistry, laboratory technical staff, yeah, experience in a laboratory plays a very, very important role in trying to understand and link basic biochemistry with clinical cases. So my classes always starts with the case, then I go for the different aspects of a particular subject which I am teaching. Say my institute was recognized by then the Director General of ICMR, Professor Ramalinga Swami. I think you must have known him as one of the best speakers and a motivator, and who was the Director General of ICMR. And also Professor M.G.K. Menon, I had a very interaction with him also. He funded me for some of the conferences which I was doing. So I joined Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, to get a diploma in molecular biology and endocrinology. And to my surprise, I got elected as the Student Advisory Council Chair now. So I got my PhD in 1977 from medical biochemistry. I left the Indian Institute because I wanted to become a teacher so that so I came back to teaching, and so I joined the endocrinology department, and then so I did my thesis on endocrinology, particularly about testicular tumors. So this was my first conference in New Delhi with a dinner meeting of Rashtramoudi with the Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad sir. So I conducted lots of workshops in India. So in 1977 itself, international workshop on ethics and science and medicine, I have done it. And Daryl Mason, you must know, is a person of immense caliber. A person who motivates many of the teachers, who is the director in charge of this AUSN Institute, the Research Institute, and the University in Los Angeles. And also I did a very wonderful workshop on AIDS awareness and education. Dr. Suniti Solomon, the person who identified the first case of AIDS, was the chief guest. At the time, we released the book on human sexuality. See, in 1980 to 1990, I was in Libya. I got selected there, and then I joined there as an assistant professor. I served that place for 10 years. At the time, please remember, I didn't have any gadgets to help me out, excepting a small typewriter. So that was the only thing I could use. So what happened at that time? I was able to give 65 publications because I thought they are giving me monetary help and respect to me. So I was sitting, and then I used to type. I go to the library, see from A to Z journals, and then immediately write something which is related, which will give a name to our institution. See, the first question we have to ask as a teacher, It is not the institution what has given to you. What you are doing for the institution is very, very important. And so you can see that I have done it in Annals of Clinical Chemistry, Annals of Clinical Biochemistry, American Journal of Medicine, Andrology, and so many other places. So it gave me a chance to travel 46 countries also. There was one specific in the things, what is the most legacy of your moment, that moment of legacy. This is the farewell party they gave me in the main hall of Arab Medical University, which was reserved for leaders like foreign leaders, prime ministers, presidents. So they arranged without my knowledge a very big farewell party. All the 10 batches of students were there. So they cyclostyled my life history and gave it to all the students. And then it was the wonderful. That was then I said, okay, my teaching has gained the most important love and the farewell from the students who have made me feel very proud of myself. So whenever I go to any places like Sunewala, at the time the great lesson. So these are all some of the things I have done. I was working in West Indies, Antigua also. So when I went there, am I audible, sir? Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible. Yes.
Sorry, I'm going slightly faster. I went to Antigua to UHSA Medical School. So when I went there for the first time into the classroom, the class was on a very easy chair like seating. People were with the beer can and the textbook was open and they were not dressed properly. So I went inside the classroom. So I thought how I must catch the attention of these students. What I did was, all of them were keeping their head on a stool. I removed the stool from one student and asked him to put his foot on my head. It was a shock for him. Then immediately they thought what they are doing. Then they came to the next day with the classroom in a very different place. And I had a very wonderful teaching experience in that place. So whenever you go to any foreign country, the most important thing which you must not be worried. See, people were telling your accent, they may not understand. It is not true. Maybe so if you go very slow, what they understand is every student everywhere in the world, they want love, loyalty, and the open-mindedness. You cannot fake or say things which are not supposed to be told inside the classroom. You have to be very, very honest. Honesty is the best thing that you have to consider the classroom as a temple where you have to interact with the student as if you are interacting with the temple. So that was the thing. And so whenever you go to, please learn the culture of the place and then find out whether the management is capable of paying you the salary. That is the very most important thing. I have written this about in my experience in Caribbean Medical School in advances in physiology education. I have chosen 3 wonderful students. One Arif Salman is a director for periodontics in America. Dr. Saad is an orthopedic surgeon in Indian International Medical University. Dr. Ashwin Padmanabhan is professor in interventional radiologist in Kerala. They are my students. Very proud to share this. See, for example, one of the student has said, Dr. Sharif is a big name in our life. I was privileged to start my, see, why I'm telling this? It is not to show that I'm great or anything like that. See, when you are very sincere with the students, and then it becomes very soul satisfying. He said that anyone can become a teacher, but to become a great teacher, an imprint has to be made in the student's mind with words and deeds. Very, very important. That is why his name is something special to us, sir. You are truly a great teacher. we are blessed to have you as our teacher. He is a professor of medicine. This is Shaina Banu, MD, PhD. She is in New Zealand now. I don't want to go into great details. She said he is instrumental in establishing postgraduate studies in the department of many of the medical colleges. And he was my student also. Enlisting his contributions and life lessons of Dr. Sharif in a few words is very, very less. So this is about Ashwin Barnavan. Please focus here. The striking feature of my lecture was extempore. He never required any notes, PowerPoint presentation, or OHP sheets, which we feel all felt was different from usual. An indication of his mastery over the subject and that his self-confidence. Such classes not only imparted subject knowledge, but it also taught us how to believe in yourself. These classes were filled with clinical scenarios and real-life situations. This comes from a great clinician. And so this is my style of teaching, even now. So I was a Senate member, syndicate member, and a curriculum committee member in Tamil Nadu Indian Medical University. And this is Dr. Mesa. This is Dr. Alexander World. They are from USA and he is from Japan. So I am a very active participation in them. They release lots of books. One of the books is about planetary health. I have two chapters, one on migrant workers, the other on environmental pollution. So this gave me, so naturally you have to go out of the box. It's not only you have to stick to your own subject. Go out of the box, try to learn lots of things, and then make yourself capable. That is called multiple tasking. What is being told needs to be done. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I gave about 20 to 30 presentations, and then that gave me a postgraduate diploma and a postgraduate degree from that particular university. And here I see this was in 1993. This was the first thing which I wrote about perspective on sex education. This is very, very important. Sex education is very important. I made them realize it was in the UNESCO in Japan. I gave this talk, and this came in a booklet called Perspectives on Bioethics Education. Then there are legacies of love, peace, and hope. When there was the terrorist attack in New Zealand, Dr. Dale Mazer, being a New Zealand Auckland man, he wrote this book. I gave one chapter with the title Forgiveness is the Extreme Form of Love and Hate. This is all. This is I wanted to tell you about this. So when I went to Libya, the first thing was I went inside. I met the professor. He said, whatever you know or not, you must know your subject from the page 1 to the last page. When I come and tell you in the morning, 5 minutes before the lecture, you must be capable of going and giving the lecture. I thought that was a wonderful advice. So I was able to do that. Please remember that there was no thing, there was only a blackboard and a chalk. And they didn't have any textbook of biochemistry. Only I had a textbook of biochemistry. I used to go inside the classroom and then write everything in capital letters so that everybody, there are about 150 to 200 students in one single batch. And that then also, those there you cannot have, the Arab women cannot interact with foreigners, but somehow I had developed a very strong bond with them. And she was there. President of the Libyan Medical Society, she told me that if I go back to India, I can influence only few people. If you come here, you stay here, you can influence the country itself. You know what has happened with Libyan Benghazi. I lost about 25 to 40 lakhs of money because on the day I was supposed to go before that, they bombed and they destroyed me. whole bank and other systems. So this is one other important thing. Whenever you go outside the country, you will face threats in different forms. One of the threats may be your life itself. This is one of the students who was doing in Yale School of Medicine. The only line which I want you to talk is Chuck told Holland that your classes helped a great deal in putting him at the top of his biochemistry class in Yale School of Medicine. So from 19 till today, I am there. I had the privilege of being a member of this global NAFLD policy review of requirements. I am sorry, see, I could not make you interact with me like what has been done in the previous thing, because I thought this interaction can be after I finish my talk. You see, you can see this was in British Journal of Sexual Medicine in August 88 itself. I wrote, sex education is for proper adolescent development. These are all some of the things which I was involved. So this was about the AIDS workshop. Another important thing is, being a Muslim, they thought, so I gave a talk to all the Christian people throughout India for 4 hours about, I am not a very religious person, but I made them very clear as to what religion is about. And that's what I said. I had a prejudice about Islam till now. I did not mix freely with Muslims, but now my prejudice is fully done. I will make many friends among them. This is thanks to you. I feel that the goal of the seminar is somewhat realized. Some of my books. This is a senior consultant in Qatar. So he also is saying that one of the many students will be taught possibly to enumerate all the contributions. These are all the things, which makes you very happy. So when I released the book on kidney, this was one of the urology professor, who was the dean student affairs of the team, I have to talk about my friend. He is an American boss. He is an anatomist and a great human being and an anthropologist. So during that particular team, Libya, Benghazi was bombed. Everything was destroyed. All the airport, everything was destroyed. I myself and Dr. Bose traveled in a taxi, crossing about 18 hours of travel, came to Egyptian border, landed in Alexandria. From Alexandria, I went to Cairo airport. I didn't have any money. Dr. Bose was responsible for giving me and purchasing a ticket and making me go to India. So I can never forget him. This is my father and my mother. My father's sacrifice and my mother's womb gave me an identity in life. My life is their gift. I have written about them, lessons from my father in American Journal of Medicine, who it was an injury. Why I took passion for teaching. I saw the movie To Serve with Love. Living consciously involves being genuine. It involves listening, responding to others honestly and openly. It involves being in the moment. Sidney Poitier. To Serve with Love was the motivator for me to take up teaching. I know you know Sidney Poitier must be. So I have some of the mentors. Sunil Pandya, Westlock Hospital, Vasanth, all these people. So a man who is not fond of students and who does not suffer the foibles gladly, this is the greatest gift in life. That is the beauty of a teacher and a student bond. There is no profession in this world that has so much of respect, whether it is monetary things or anything like that. It does not compensate the love which you get from your students. My life partly belongs to my family and partly belongs to my students. Today, my dignity, my respect, everything, even today, the persons, my students whom I taught 20, 30 years before, they make me feel proud today. A good teacher is like a candle who consumes itself to light the way for others. 12:45 medical teacher, this was my detail. Thank you very much for your patient learning. And I hope my screen sharing and my audio was audible. Sorry if I was not able to. Sometimes the voice was breaking or anything like that. Thank you. But yet, you are all very lovely interactive. Please remember that you belong to your profession, which needs greatest respect. Nursing professional, physiotherapist, what a role they play in the patient's lives. Many people may remember this or may not remember this, but you are those people who make the patient's life worth living. And sometimes that you, the care and the empathy you show towards your patient and your profession. So please try to be an educator. More than that, try to be a very passionate allied health science officer. Thank you very much. Sorry, am I okay now? Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for such an enlightful, inspiring, and thought provoking session. Your session reminded us that the teaching is not simply a profession, it is an opportunity to inspire, influence, and transform lives. As we come to the end of the session, we conclude this session of Virtual International Faculty Development Program series.
Before that, we can ask participants, dear delegates, do you have anything to discuss with sir? We have time to discuss or share anything. Can unmute yourself and please talk.
I'm sorry, my voice must have been breaking. Why? Because unfortunately, here the internet is not very strong. I tried to speak loudly, and I'm sorry that if I'm not able to reach some of the people, participants, I'm very really sorry for that.
If any part If any participants wants to ask any question, they may unmute and ask.
So,
So once again, thank you so much, Dr. Dastagir sir, for a wonderful, like inspiring talk. Like I have never actually met Dr. Dastagir in person, but I came through social media like Facebook, and I only saw your post and your interaction and the way you communicated with your students in comments. We used to see that, and those small glimpses were enough to tell me that there was a passionate teacher behind you. So today, after listening to you, I can say that my first impression was absolutely right. Because what we experienced today was not just a session, it was just a demonstration of what it means to you and means to be a passionate educator, I can say, to bring learning. And main important thing was to connect with the students. So you have explained us about your journey, and that was really impressive, sir. And what we understood from that this session, that a good teacher teaches the lesson. A passionate teacher always leave something of themselves in the learner. So that example was really good, sir, that you have shown lot of your successful students who are doing great things, and they are just paying great gratitude to you. So that was really impressing, and we'll definitely follow those things, sir. So once again, thank you, sir, for enlightening us. And to all participants, thank you for being part of this 7 day journey with us. And I hope you are not leaving with only certificates, but with one idea, one reflection, or one change that will definitely carry into your classroom tomorrow. So once again, thank you all for being with us for these whole 7 days. Thank you.
Thank you to all of you. Sorry if I am not audible to some
No,
of
sir,
you.
it was okay. It was good, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, I can leave now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can leave, sir. Thank you.
So we sincerely thank to all our resource person, participants and organizing team and everyone who contributed to make this International Faculty Development Program series meaningful and successful. A special thank to all the participants for your active participation and valuable presence throughout the session. The certificate for the program will be issued within a week. Also, the feedback form has been shared in the chat box. Kindly fill it before leaving the session. And with this, we officially conclude our virtual International Faculty Development Program series. Our program is not the end of learning, it is the beginning of putting that learning into a practice. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of it. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.